Good morning. My name is Myra Bridgforth, and I want to tell you a story about being a singer in the Chancel Choir at Church Presbyterian Church during the pandemic. In March, when we all stopped coming to the church house for services, everything that I was hearing and that all of us were hearing was that singing was one of the most dangerous things that you could do. People had died that were in choirs that had sung together. And I remember feeling like this thing that's in my life, that's at the center of my life, that's so important, is maybe gone forever. I sing in another choir in addition to our church choir, and that was just gone. And the piece that's most important to me about experiencing the presence of God in a church service was not going to be available to us. And the Chancel Choir immediately started having Thursday night Zoom choir rehearsals. And we began to talk about and begin working on not only continuing to be a spiritual group with each other and to support each other, but how can we be a part of the leading the worship and being singers and singing music. And so we began to work together to put together some pieces that we would contribute our voices to sing. And one of the early ones that we did was My Lord, What a Morning. And that is one of my very favorite songs that we sing. We often have done it as an introit, standing at the back of the sanctuary. It's a solo of mine from a long time ago, and I love it so much. And what we were told to do and taught how to do was to do our voice recording on our phone. So I'm sitting in my room that I now use to see clients during the day, and I have this iPhone in front of me, and I'm supposed to do a voice recording of My Lord, What a Morning. And I start doing it. My Lord, what a morning. My Lord, what a morning. When the stars begin to fall, when the stars begin to fall. And I sang the whole song, and I stopped it and I listened to it, and it sounded terrible. I sounded terrible. I was no longer singing for an hour and a half every Thursday and for an hour on Sunday and with my other group, and my voice was out of shape. And this is one of my favorite songs, and I felt so sorry for myself, and it was not going to be very good. But I just sat there and then said, but Myra, you've got to get over yourself. You're not going to not contribute to this song. So I sang my part into the voice recording, and I sent it in, and they put it together. And that Sunday, the song didn't sound as good as it would have if we'd been doing it in church, but it was still beautiful. I still wanted Margie Ayers to be on my left-hand side, and I wanted Whitney Owen to be on my right-hand side, and I wanted the bass baritones to be singing behind me, because it's more meaningful and it sounds much more beautiful when we sing it that way. But this was what was available to us. And I also was so moved by that song is reminding us to, lift up our heads when we're outside and to see that the world is still there. In the midst of this pandemic, when people are dying and fires and floods and craziness in our government and people dying, and we don't know when it's ever going to get better, that song reminds me that God is still holding us, and that we have this moment of being able to lift up our heads or look out the window and to be reminded that we're still held and that we can still sing together. And I'm so grateful to be in the Chancel Choir and to be recording songs. We have a whole schedule of things that we're going to be singing in the fall all the way up until Christmas Eve. And our choir is the reason why I came to our church. It is still the center of my life. And because of my needing to be super careful, I can't do some other things that I used to always do. I can't do welcome table, and I can't lead my retreats. but I can sing my voice part into my iPhone and sing and praise God. And I hope that you, when you hear us sing, that you will be reminded to lift your head up and to look at the world and to see it's still there. And that you might feel loved by us, loved by God, and inspired to live this day. My Lord, what a morning. Blessings to you.